that sentence with the beauty that is the English language, the they is not referring to the he, okay? Because it's singular plural, and it's not how that works. Okay, especially since the person said he's a remarkable mortal, he'll live, they must. If I said that all in one sentence, I would say, who is the they referring to? You'd be like, oh, it's referring to mortals.
Okay, what is the message Athena has given Helios, okay? That mankind is superior to the gods, like they must live, right? It doesn't follow, the conversation doesn't follow, okay? Shall we help him? No, it's fine, he'll live, okay? They must. What?
Chains of Olympus came out before God of War 3, before Ghost of Sparta, before Ascension, all this, that, and the other. Okay, there is no way that the developers thought this much forward in time about Atreus, okay? There's no way. There is no...
I know the director of God of War Ascension wasn't thinking about Atreus. I know that. I'm not stupid. Athena is not on the side of the mortals per se, okay? What did she say to Kratos when he went to kill Zeus? Zeus must live so that Olympus may prevail.
You said that the idea, right, was still probably there about Athena sacrificing herself, becoming something greater, and then doing what? Ruling. Ruling who, sir? Ruling what? Ruling who? The mortals.
Okay, I got it. She's still in that Olympian mindset that they must live because they need them to do their bidding. I think that's what she means now. I'm willing to concede. No, I'm going back. Okay, no. Living for him, it's a must for Athena. Why must it? Why does it have to be a must? Because Kratos is gonna serve her purpose in God of War 3. Okay, he's gonna take down Olympus because Athena will tell him that. Okay, see what I mean? That's why he must live, right? So who is they? I'm going back again. What does the cutscene mean?
So the question of what the they means has been bothering me for a long time, and from my YouTube poll, fans of the series usually give two answers. Number 1, she's referring to mortals in general, or number 2, she's referring to someone who's connected to Kratos in a way that if he dies, the other person will die. And I'm gonna do the cliche thing and say that they're both somewhat correct, so after an hour or so of discussing it with Konorugi, here's the proper answer. Kratos cannot die because he's connected to the mortals in a way that if he dies, Athena's plans for the mortals will not come to pass. This may sound like such a stupid thing to realize, since that's the story in God of War 3. Athena uses Kratos to free the mortals from the gods so she can rule over them. But the problem is that Athena should not be saying this at this point in the story, and the more I thought about it, the more contradictions I found in regards to Athena's character. So at the risk of insulting the God of War creator, and never getting an early sneak peek at God of War 5, I'll say this. We're about to poke more holes in the God of War series than Kratos using the bow of Apollo against the Devil May Cry 5 case. Yeah. As you know, the God of War series has had 6 different directors, with the ones we want to focus on for now are these two awesome dudes. Cory Barlog, co-creator of the God of War series, and director of the masterpiece that was God of War 4, and Ryu Ueshiba, director of God of War Chains of Olympus. This is the guy who challenged the idea that a PSP game should look something like this, and instead said, nope, God of War is supposed to look like this, even if it kills your PSP. Both awesome guys, really love their games. With all that sweet talk out of the way, I'm gonna say that Ryu might have made a mistake at the end of God of War Chains of Olympus, with the quote in question.
He has again served us well, Athena.
He is a remarkable man.
He is weak. Shall we help him?
He'll live. They must.
You see, Ryu's game was released after God of War 2. In the ending of God of War 2, Athena sacrifices herself for the good of Olympus, and this is how Cory interpreted the ending.
No, we had that talk. So what I was setting up in 2 was this idea that Athena had died and was the first person in the pantheon of gods to actually have a selfless act, to die from a selfless act. So she had kind of ascended to this higher level And then at first she's somewhat altruistic and being like, hey, wow, okay, I did pretty good. But then she starts to realize, wait a minute, I can actually affect the rest of the world. I don't want anybody else to get up here.
The team eventually decided to go with Stig Asmussen as the new director for God of War 3, but the idea of Athena ruling over the mortals prevailed, since that's what her character is all about in God of War 3. Now, if we connect the ending of God of War Chains of Olympus with the character of Athena in God of War 3, the quote makes sense. He'll live because he will take down Olympus and will allow Athena to rule over the mortals. But there's a problem. As I've said before, Athena should not be saying this at this point in the story. You see, God of War Chains of Olympus takes place before God of War 2, during the 10 years of Kratos' servitude to the gods. For Athena, these were her pro-Olympian years, and God of War 3 shows an Athena who's pro-Athena rule. So what happened? The ending of God of War 2. Up until the ending of God of War 2, Athena was pro-Olympian. That's why she sacrificed herself. This became the first time a god had done something completely selfless. This resulted in Athena ascending to a higher plane of existence. Once there, she realized that the gods of Olympus were wrong and she could do a better job. So she hired Kratos to do her bidding of destroying Olympus. So you see the problem, right? In God of War Chains of Olympus, she hadn't sacrificed herself yet. This didn't happen for many years to come. So at this point, she couldn't have realized how much of a better job she could do. Instead, this ending makes it seem like she had planned it, which wasn't the original interpretation of her character. We know this to be true because her plans fail at the end of God of War 3. It doesn't follow that she was able to predict all the events that would lead to Kratos destroying Olympus, and then at the last minute not predicting that he would give the power of hope to the mortals. But the funny thing is that no one seemed to notice this contradiction, because a few years later we would get the awesome game that was Ghost of Sparta, in which a cutscene reveals something interesting. When Ares and Athena came to take the marked warrior supposed to destroy Olympus, aka Deimos, Ares was going to kill Kratos, but Athena intervened. Why, you ask?
Forgive me.
You were there. Why? Why did you help him?
I was there for you, Kratos. You had to be saved.
This shows that the creator of Ghost of Sparta opted for getting rid of the idea of Athena purely sacrificing herself and then wanting to become the ruler of the world, and instead chose to go with an Athena that had planned it all along, since the time Kratos was a boy. But it gets worse. Are you ready for this? When Corey started directing the latest God of War game, he reinterpreted the plot of God of War 3. I actually have a video about it if you're interested in watching it. But anyways, God of War 3 tells us that when Kratos opened Pandora's box, the gods became infected with the evils of the Great War. It simply states that the gods were overtaken with this general evil. Cory Barlog, however, tweaked it a bit. Different evils went to different characters. The evil of rage went to Kratos, the evil of fear went to Zeus, and get this, the evil of greed went to Athena, which resulted in her wanting to rule all of Olympus, which happened after the ending of God of War Chains of Olympus, meaning she couldn't have been saying this still. So essentially we have three contradictory interpretations of why Athena decided to rule the world. Number 1, she was a loyal member of the Olympian gods to the point of sacrificing herself to save Olympus. This resulted in her becoming a higher being and eventually coming to the conclusion that the gods had to go because she could do a better job for mankind. Number 2, ever since the Oracle said that a marked warrior would destroy Olympus, she somehow figured out that it would be Kratos, so she has been guiding everyone like a puppet master to ensure she would get to rule the mortals. This included her knowing that if she sacrificed herself for Olympus, she would reach a higher existence. And number 3, she was a loyal member of the gods of Olympus until one day Kratos opened Pandora's box, releasing all the evils of the Great War to the gods. The evil of greed befell her, and she became obsessed with ruling all of the mortals. This interpretation would also include her knowing that if she sacrificed herself, she would reach a higher existence. So we are left to figure out which of these three interpretations is canon. So let's start with the third interpretation. I don't think this one's correct because from what we see in God of War 3, it seems the evils were released in a general manner to the gods, and Kratos didn't get ragey after opening the box. He's always been ragey, so I really don't know why this interpretation came to be. I don't see any way it furthers the story in God of War 4. So sorry Emmanuel Mojica, even if Santa Monica revealed this to you, they are wrong. Can I still get a sneak peek at God of War 5?
No.
Now let's take the first interpretation, the one offered by Cory Barlog. Although this is my favorite one, and it might have been implied in God of War 3, there isn't anything in the games that confirms it, other than she seemed really genuine when she sacrificed herself. So sorry Cory, I love you, but your interpretation has been voted out. Hey, don't kill the messenger. Okay, So let's look at the one which I think it's canon, the second one. Athena devised a plan in which Kratos takes down Olympus, since the Oracle prophesied that a marked warrior would do so, and that's why we have these two cutscenes in both Chains of Olympus and in Ghost of Sparta. Even though I think Ruby Ashura jumped the gun when he made this cutscene, it fits perfectly into the series. For one thing, Ghost of Sparta further expanded on it, and it also fixes something in God of War 1. Have you ever asked yourself why was Athens overrun by Ares, given that the city worships the goddess of wisdom? You're telling me that Athena couldn't figure out a way to prevent the invasion? Before this interpretation, Athena seemed dumb, at least in this game, but if she planned it all along, then it makes sense because she needed Kratos to kill Ares to become the god of war so he could piss off the gods of Olympus, so he could kill them, and then have her plan fall apart at the last minute.
You fool! What have you done? No! That was meant for me! They will not know what to do with it!
So what do you guys think? Which interpretation do you like better? As I've said before, I liked Corey's, just trying to get that sneak peek still. As always, I want to thank all of you guys. Because of you, this channel has grown like crazy. It truly means the world to me. With that said, don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new to the channel, we would love to have you come aboard. But if you're still not sure, you might want to check out a few of my other videos. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.